everybody, it's Chelsea from the Smart Cookie Files, and today I have a special guest. Katrina's here. You want to stay for the whole video? Okay, so we're going to talk about my January faves. So here we go.
I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast, cause we still alive. No.
Okay, the first fave that I had was, in terms of books, I read, or I finished reading, Unashamed by Lecrae, and I really liked it. I'm a huge fan of Lecrae, if you can't tell from other videos on my channel, but I became his fan in 2011, and I've not stopped basically listening to him since, and it's because his music is real. There's a lot of substance. He talks about his faith, but it's also, he talks about issues that are important and relevant to today's society, and also he encourages those within the inner communities and stuff like that, and so that's why I like his music. But I was interested in finding out more about him as a person, so I wanted to read his memoir, and it was co-written with another author, but he basically wrote it, most of it, and then there was a lot that he always has those sayings that are like spot on, and it was an interesting read. I could have read it in one day, but basically, obviously, life didn't allow me to. I like how Katrina said she was going to stay for the whole video, and then she left. Anyway, so that was one of my favorite books that I got to read in January. Obviously, I aimed to do a TBR, but life got in the way, and January was a little bit hectic, and so The Cartel and The Revenants are going to be February's TBR, because obviously I couldn't get anything read in the month of January. Alright, next, my fave was in terms of music, I actually really enjoyed, once I really sat down and listened to it, Beautiful Trauma by Pink, which I did a music review on my site, and I'll put that link in the description. But outside of that, my favorite song right now that I cannot stop listening to is What Do I Know by Ed Sheeran. And it basically is like him just on guitar, obviously like most of his songs, but basically him just doing his thing, and then he's saying, like, as long as everybody's talking about exponential growth, their stock portfolios, and but all I know is, like, love can change the world in a moment. So it's like a really good song, it's catchy, and it just sticks in your head, because every time I listen to it, then I have to listen to it again and again, and then it just goes on and on. So, alright, so the next fave in movies. I went to see 3 movies in the month of January. They were Second Act, Mary Poppins Returns, and Aquaman. Now, these are the ones in theaters. I also saw Somewhere in Time. I may have watched that in December, but we'll just put it into January. It's an old movie. And then I watched Mid-90s, which was written and directed by Jonah Hill. So I will talk about each of these. Second Act was extremely good because J-Lo is a boss bitch, which I love. And then Milo Ventimiglia was in it. It's just like a good movie, encouraging towards people, no matter demographic, but basically about people who are later in life and they feel like they're never gonna make up for, the life they always wanted to live, and everybody doesn't see their potential because they didn't go to college or didn't graduate college or what have you because of circumstances. And it's a good movie because it just shows you that no matter where you are in life, you always have a second chance, and you always can step up and go for what you want. And it's also heartwarming because of the minor storyline that turns into a major storyline. There's like 3 different movies wrapped up into one, and I read that in one review before I went to see the movie, and that's legitimately what happens in the movie. There's 3 different storylines going on at the same time. So anyway, the next movie I saw was Mary Poppins Returns. That was really good. I mean, I didn't feel the complete and utter, like, oh my goodness, like, I was totally swept away feel that the original had, because obviously that was the original and the sequel's never as good. But I did like the sequel. I thought Emily Blunt was amazing as Mary Poppins. Lin-Manuel Miranda was good in it. And then I loved that Dick Van Dyke was in it. And then, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but there's somebody else in it that it's like, at the end they appear and you're just like, oh my god, they're still acting? So anyway, but the music was good in it. There was a song that I loved that it was all about reading a book, and like I like that they put that in there because it encourages kids to read, which I'm totally about. And then so basically it was a good movie. The third one I watched was Aquaman, and that one was actually pretty good. The only thing was, when I left the theater, I kid you not, I was dizzy and I felt like I had sea legs. Like, I legitimately felt like I was actually on water, was in a boat, or some type of, like, I was definitely swimming, because I couldn't stand and I couldn't even walk. And I wasn't the only one. I went with my family, and my sister said the same. But the movie was good for a Marvel movie. I'm not a big fan of Marvel movies, but it kept my interest, and I thought Amber Heard was good in it. I thought the guy who played Aquaman was good in it. I don't know his name, but basically everyone that was in it was good. And the other 2 movies I watched, Somewhere in Time was extremely good, but definitely sad. And then I watched Mid-90s, which was written and directed by Jonah Hill, centered in the 90s, with a kid that basically reaches into the skate community to find an outlet, and kind of a home away from home, because his home life is kind of like really sucky. And I liked it. It just was, I don't know, there was parts of it that could have been cut out, or like, I don't know, changed. But the overall like feel of how the skateboard community is like all encompassing and accepting, and is there for you, totally was represented, and I liked that in the film, so I was glad for that. Lastly, the TV shows that I liked in January. I only finished Handmaid's Tale, so that one I was totally stoked on how it ended. Kind of surprised. I really hope that they have another season, but I do know that Margaret Atwood, I don't know from the popularity of the show if she was pushed to, but she decided to write a sequel to the original book, so that'll probably mean more TV episodes, which is totally fine with me. I'm going to read the book when it comes out. It's supposedly coming out in September of 2019. I could be wrong, but yeah, so I look forward to when either that show comes back or there's more episodes. I really hope that they don't never put back on Jane the Virgin, because I was pretty sure there was supposed to be one more season before it ended, but hopefully that comes out soon. In the comments below, tell me your January fave. It could have been a book, music, movies, TV show, even if you had a favorite type of coffee that you tried, you've never tried, a favorite material item that you bought, something that just sparked your interest, kept you excited. Let me hear it in the comments below. Alright, espresso yourself. Bye guys.